Hail Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here to talk about Season 3, Episode 2 of Leftovers, entitled Don't Be Ridiculous! This was an entertaining episode.
Yeah, it's no mystery why that person got brought up to heaven.
Definitely, it does that thing that Leftovers does. It's got these really silly components,
yes.
And then it's just really serious and emotionally moving at the same time. It's really odd mix. You think about it. It is not a comedy. The show is not a comedy. But man, boy, sometimes you're like, is it a comedy? So this episode was obviously Nora-centric.
Yes, it was.
It's a Nora arc with a little prologue put on to kind of foreshadow, I assume, episode 3, which we can talk about.
Yes.
That's when they go to Australia.
Yes.
You want to just talk about that real fast and then just everything else will be Nora?
Well, I mean, I'm glad I watched it twice, actually, because I would have been more confused at the end if I had only watched it once.
Oh.
Because I was
all right, so we're skimming to the end real quick here. All right.
Yes, the end of it is we're over in Australia again, and we see some cop, and he's doing his job, and he seems like a nice enough guy.
Does he seem nice enough? He seems like a jerk to me.
Well, I mean, I think... Well,
he didn't let the guy go off on overtime, and then he's kind of like a blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He seems like a jerk to me.
Okay.
He comes off jerking, but what made you think he was nice enough?
Nice enough. He didn't shoot the guy.
All right, he didn't shoot someone.
It's like, I guess I'm not a pet person. So It's like some guy who wants to leave work early to go take care of his pet. It's like, you are a cop, and something could happen. That's just the way that the job works. Right. It's not like, it doesn't seem like anything happened tonight. Yeah, that's what the cops are thinking. I mean, the criminals were thinking that. I'm like, let's wait until a certain time.
He's a dedicated cop. We'll say that.
Yeah, do your job. And he wasn't. Okay. He
wasn't. But
there was mean. He was kind of like, shouldn't you be doing your job?
There was something before that. What was the scene
when he shot the?
Yes, he shoots a kangaroo.
He knocked you in pain.
He ran over a kangaroo and then shot it.
It jumped right in front of him. He didn't steer towards it.
He was horrible. No, okay, you're right. It was an act of mercy. All right.
Nice enough.
He opens by killing a kangaroo.
And then he makes his coworker clean it up. He took a new car.
So the joke there is he is a cop named Kevin.
Yep.
These 4 women, obviously they got a prophecy in mind.
Yeah.
And he fits it because he's a cop named Kevin. So they're focusing on either. What they're probably focusing on is Kevin's dad, right?
Well, so here's the weird thing, right? So, when does this take place? Apparently there's only one copy of the book of what's his name?
Yes,
Kevin.
Book of Kevin,
right? And they seem to be reading from it.
Oh, were they? No, I didn't see that.
Well, she said, she said this thing.
And and he put the stone,
right? So it sounds like it's from the thing.
Oh, okay.
But
then just
at the very top, when you saw the guy in the office, they were saying, a couple more days till the 7-year itch or whatever. They didn't say 7-year itch, but they said the 7th anniversary. So it still is contemporary with the other time, not when we saw old Nora.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Maybe it's like similar to the old Nora
I thought
thing.
so too, but that's why I watched it again. And no, like when he went to the office, there was...
So this prophecy exists somewhat independent of the Book of Kevin.
Perhaps, or maybe somehow they were able to get access to it. Maybe one of them was feeding it to other people.
Maybe somebody's a seer and they can see or something.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, they have 3 people who are involved with it. This whole, there's only one copy thing. Yeah, maybe that's stupid. It's like, he's,
online.
The kid is working on a computer to write the thing up.
Good point, Michael.
Yep.
Michael's been sending this around.
It out to people, yeah.
So they're very close to Kevin, the former sheriff. Like, he's at the end of the episode, he bursts out of that. What's going on out here?
The dad named Kevin too?
Dad's named Kevin. so that's the guy they're either trying to somehow they're focused on, and they find that guy. They're wrong again. But so in an effort,
we know he makes it to the next episode.
In the comedic beat of attempting to prove that the wrong Kevin is the right Kevin.
They took a page from Monty Python.
They did. How do you know she's a witch? So they dunk him into the water, assuming, hey, if he's the chosen one, he'll survive.
He'll come back to life. Or the water will leap out.
Or he'll be able to breathe underwater or whatever. Nope. They kill him.
Yeah.
And they do. It takes so long. And the head woman is so convinced she's right. Like, he's the right one. Yeah. Oh, we got the right one.
What if he's wrong? He's
the right. It's the right one. But what if he isn't? Shut up. And then they're like, oh my God. Then when she realizes, he's like, oh God, get rid of him. Like, it sounds like they're trying to hide the body is what it sounds like at the end. I don't know. Get him off there. Get him off. Get him off there. It sounds like they're trying to like hide their tracks. Anyway, it's brutal, but funny and a weird kind of, Fargo-y way. Anyway, so that's the end, and it sets up with, we see Kevin's dad again. He's in Australia, and we do know, based on what we're about to talk about, Nora and young Kevin are headed to Australia.
Yes.
Okay, so I assume there'll be a meeting
Kevin Prime.
Of the minds. Kevin Prime. Kevin Secundus. All right, so it's a Nora episode. Nora begins the episode by investigating the death of the guy on the pillar. Yes, and for the departed suddenly.
It's the first of two TV stars of shows in the past there appearing in cameos. So Brett Butler.
Brett Butler is the wife of the dead guy who was on the pillar. We see a shot, just so that there's no ambiguity. Yes. We see the image of the guy falling off the pillar. Yes. And just another Monty Python moment. So all the claims of, he departed, we the audience know BS.
Yes. Correct.
But we learn that
you can depart that way.
Right. We learn that it's an attempt to basically honor his memory, or because they want to make it seem like he had this epiphany moment and departed, instead of he just fell off the pillar and died.
Apparently, because it didn't seem. Because conceivably, if Nora had said, it's a departure, then she could get money, presumably.
You think that's okay?
Isn't that what the whole
I think
point
that's the point is that they give cash.
I think so.
Okay, but I didn't feel like it was a cash grab.
No, I agree. But potentially, you could say that's why she's, concerned about it. At least, in terms of, she has created this shrine to the guy. Potentially, could be like, hey, you should give a little money.
Give a little money to the shrine.
I like Brett Butler, but come on.
Well, and so as soon as Brett Butler says, and I was talking to the preacher, which is Nora's brother, Matt, she's like, okay. You can just see right away.
Well, it wasn't her. It was interesting to think about the episode. They kept talking to different people. So it was the other people who, it was the Spanish people who were backing her up.
Oh, right.
So they were like, talking to the preacher.
You're like, okay. And then she heads over.
This preacher?
She heads over to the brother. Sure enough, he can't hide it. He's like, okay, fine. But it's like, I'm just trying to give this guy some, grace.
Yeah, something.
And Nora's having none of it. That's kind of always been her character.
She tries to be nice and you're doing this because you were devoted to your wife as this woman was devoted to her husband. And so that's why you're doing this.
Right.
Your wife left, and you feel like, oh no, I want to respect this woman because she devoted to her husband, who is a crazy religious fool. Like no one I know.
Right. So she then gets this call out of the blue.
Well, she goes. That's right. Yeah, she gets a call out of the blue. I thought there was something else. But go ahead.
There might be something else here, but broad strokes. She gets a call from Marklin Baker.
Yes,
Marklin Baker. Who now I'm not quite caught up, but I've watched much of season 1 now.
Marklin Baker was not in season 1.
He was not, but they mention the Perfect Strangers guys, and then he comes in season 2. So the story arc for Marklin Baker. It's kind of funny to say.
Marklin Baker came in season 2. I forgot that.
So it's season 1. We just know that the cast of Perfect Strangers,
he faked it.
Got taken up. They departed. Then we learn, nope, Marklin Baker faked his departure by fleeing to Mexico. And now Marklin Baker returns for this season to say, hey, you know what? I've been working with these scientists have come to me, and they can reproduce the radiation that's been found around these departed folks, blast people with radiation, theoretically send them to the same place that their departed loved ones. Sure. How do you, Nora, would you like to go see your kids?
Yes.
Because if you sign up now, you can do this. All right. So she takes, well, we're not sure of her motivations exactly, but it feels like at least in the beginning she's like, this is a hoax. I'm going to prove it's a hoax.
That's right. And she goes there and tells him that it's a hoax, too.
But something I noticed, what is the exact quote? So, when they cut to the sudden departure department, there was a sign in the background, and it was something like, if you don't see someone, say something, or something like that. Like it's a riff on the if you see something, say something. Right. So anyway, it was just a funny little somebody put up a little in the background.
Right.
So she, Marklin Baker says, meet me, it was very cloak and dagger, meet me in a hotel in St. Louis in 24 hours, or I'm out of here, and you can see your kids, perhaps. So she goes.
Yes. And she's, a lot of weird things been happening that people pay attention to because she's having a lot of technical difficulties. One of the parts that I really loved was when she was trying to get her ticket to get on the airplane, and it was saying, "Oh, do you have a child? You place on your lap." And she's like, "No, I don't have a child."
And it's just reminding her of the fact that she was the one in season 1. Her whole family went whoop. And
she took this girl. She's thinking about the girl that she took on,
Lily,
that we find out in this episode what happens. So she's like, I don't have that kid either. I don't have a kid. And she's like,
stop reminding me of this.
Yes. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Give me another kiosk.
And it is interesting. There is a series of technical malfunctions that come around. There's the parking lot thing, and she's like, and, there's all kinds. There's many problems. And it occurred to me, if we see, her character at the end of episode 1 is riding a bike. Like kind of living like almost like off the grid lifestyle.
Oh,
I wonder if that's like like this is a thing. Like this is going to stay with her when she's off the grid with the doves at the very end of the episode, right? She's riding her bike.
Yes,
she's off in the countryside. Correct. She seems to be surrounded. I'm just saying, maybe.
I hear you, but
maybe there's a.
Hey, you can't get a horse. I mean, come on.
They
appear to have a number of horses.
Okay, good point. She could ride a large sheep. I don't know. Yeah, that's a theory. That's not.
Who knows?
Whatever. I'm good with theories. All right, good. So she meets up with Mark on the way. So she's had all these difficulties. Does she go? No, she does not go to see Lily first. She goes to see Lily after Mark, I think.
Yes. Right. She goes. Yeah. She goes to. It's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky, where Lily is, and then she sees her and she helps her, and then the mother comes along, and so then.
Also, Lily doesn't recognize her.
Right. Well, it's been 3 years.
I mean, it's not like why wouldn't she? But I think that's a big moment.
And
like, who are you?
That starts to fill it in, and then when she goes to visit. So she goes to see Erica.
A very emotional scene with Marklin Baker, though, too. I mean.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Although I feel like, at least there with Marklin Baker, it is more on him, who you can see how torn up he is. But, it's having an effect on her, too.
And we turn that whole joke, the initial joke of perfect strangers went up to heaven, has really become like, wow, that's actually really, there's a lot of pathos in this whole thing. And obviously the duality of Marklin Baker's situation is very similar to Nora's situation.
Yes. Yeah,
he was one of 4 people. The other 3 disappeared.
She's like, what are the odds? And she knew the odds.
Plus, they're both kind of like, we learned from this thing that she was kind of like a famous one. That she was called Nora Cursed.
Oh, well, because of that.
Yeah, but like she was in the paper, which is probably also why Marklin Baker, maybe that foundation, whatever, reached out to her. That's how they found her, maybe. It's like, oh, she was someone else who was notable.
Sure.
That lost their kids. Maybe.
Yeah, it made me wonder if, because who knows, but I feel like it is a scam. And so it's sort of like, hey, if you can, famous guy, get other famous people to do it,
Yeah, here's where I
give you a deal or
here's
something.
where I don't understand his involvement. Like, okay, if he's a believer and he's like, this will get me to see my coworkers or perfect friends, why hasn't he done it?
Right, exactly.
Why is he just coaxing other people to do it?
And so maybe that's part of it. It's like, we want you to do this, but you believe in this, don't you? Well, maybe you can convince others. You've been to Harvard or Yale or wherever heck he went.
To Yale, 2 degrees from Yale, which is actually, I think Marklin Baker does have those.
Probably,
degrees.
Yeah. Hopefully he can.
So it's like art and reality.
It's like, ooh, yes, I am that smart, and that wouldn't be me.
Right. So he makes this offer. He gives her a phone. He throws her cell phone away. Another technology thing going on. Gives her.
I think it's more like to keep from being, because they don't want to be
He does have an interesting line there where he says, "Oh, that's all just hardware. Everything important's in the cloud. In the cloud." Like the idea of everything important's up in the clouds. That's kind of what I got out of it. Yeah.
I mean, well, technology-wise, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, not just technology, but everything important is up there somewhere.
Okay.
According to the show, they left. They went up.
Sure.
That's what people think. No, you didn't think that was like metaphor?
No. But it could be, All
right, write in, folks. Was that metaphor or not? That was metaphor, damn it. Simile. All right. Anyway. Okay. Fine,
maybe I'll go with Meta 3.
I read too much. I read too much into that. Okay. Fine. So he basically says, "Hey, look, people are. Here's a list of people who radiate the crap out of themselves."
He gave her video testimonials from these people, so she could see even more people.
Yeah, they're all holding up newspapers like, "Look, it's on this day. I'm about to radiate myself and die, or will I?" It's obviously one of these things where once you've done the thing, it's a little too late to question
it worked! Yay!
Or no, it didn't. Oh.
Well, I mean, I think you just want to say that it's like they incinerated. It worked!
It worked!
Yay!
So, but you can tell she's having this. She's questioning.
I guess,
maybe
but
this is a
to
thing.
me, though, it almost makes her. I mean, I think the thing we see with Nora, which is why I love her, is that the more other people sort of say, "Hey, here's the easy way out. Here's the thing that she's like, "What? Screw that! I'm gonna expose you, and I'm gonna throw rocks through your window." And
I think she feels like. I mean, she's very complex, but I feel like in her mind, she talks about coping mechanisms. That's when she talks about the pillar guy. Like, why would he stay on the pillar? It's his coping mechanism. All these people have coping mechanisms. Dean, the dog shooty guy.
Right.
That was his, which I've now seen. Season 1, episode 1, practically like 5 minutes in, Dean shooting a dog.
Did you see
Dean
Nora's
is still shooting dogs.
in the first episode?
Not in the first one, but later on. Yeah. So now her coping mechanism seems to be like it's too painful for her to hope, almost like that her kids might still be like. It's just easier to say, "Duh, it's done."
Well, in the second season, she was sort of like, "Really, is this?" And then it was like, "What?" Oh, she was like, "I was almost believing you, and now I'm mad because I did almost believe you."
So she also, I'll say this real quick: Justin Theroux and the actress who plays Nora Durst.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Nora and Kevin, their facial expressions, what they do without any dialogue, freaking amazing. Like they could literally do an entire show where it's like, okay, look this way and demonstrate that you're feeling this.
Carrie Coon.
There we go.
Their facial expressions
are incredible. They say so much.
They should just say, I'm sorry, this year we're not nominating anybody else.
Their expression can be in a total counterpoint to whatever they're saying. They can do whatever dialogue you want and just watch their face and it's saying something completely different. She takes the trip off to Kentucky. She has this moment where she sees Lily. Lily doesn't recognize her. She goes to visit Erica. She reveals, and this whole time she just had her cast taken off. We learned why she had her cast on.
Yes, that was
very sad. So she decided to put a tattoo of her kids' names on her arm. Then decided, wait, whoa. If I do this, then people are always going to ask about the tattoo. Then I'm going to have to tell them the kids are parted. It's going to be really awful. You know what? I don't want it. I don't want this. So she picks a random tattoo. It's the Wu-Tang Clan, or she called it the Wu-Tang Band.
Yes. Yes, I'm a big fan.
To cover over the tattoo over kids' names.
Yes.
It's still too painful, I guess, is what happened. Like, she's like, the idea of like looking at this is still looking at a replacement for the tattaoo.
Yeah, which is why she broke her arm.
And so she breaks her arm intentionally in a car door.
So she can
get a cast
to cover it. Yeah.
Of course, now the cast is off, and we can see the Wu-Tang Band tattoo. Yeah. Very, just a incredibly moving story into the origin of that, and she's actually breaking her arm to hide.
And I'm glad we got to see Erica again. It's just like they were, even though it was a contentious relationship because, they had different worldviews and they were really, but, they understood where each other were coming from.
And it was interesting there when Erica's like, I have closure because I buried my daughter. So I acknowledge that she's dead and passed on. The implication being you, Nora, haven't been able to bury your kids,
right?
And that's why. Nora returns.
Well, after jumping around on a trampoline for a little
Jumps on a trampoline.
Yeah. To the Wu-Tang Clan.
To the Wu-Tang Clan. Jumping. Boop. This is what we're on a trampoline right now. Feels better about herself. And that, I think that's a therapeutic, a little cathartic moment. I mean, I'm not saying that she solved all her problems.
Yes. No, she definitely has a moment where you feel a little joy there. You see a little joy on her face.
She returns.
Yes, and sees her stepson.
She does. Stepson stops her outside of town. His full cop outfit.
Yeah.
They have a little conversation. Tommy.
That's where we really hear the story about what happened, because she didn't say, because Erica knew. So that's when she reveals that the mother came back for the child, and she didn't fight it at all. She spoke in court just to see what would happen or whatever. But she didn't fight it. And so now the child doesn't even understand it. And you believe that she would be coming back to... She's not a threat.
Right. There was a thought of like, why did Nora suddenly turn up? Is she going to do something to the kid?
Right, exactly. That's what she's said. No.
She walks in...
Well... I'm sorry.
I know, no, that's fine, because I'm jumping ahead, so go ahead.
Yeah, no. Well, so, that's when we see, we really actually, it's nice to learn more about, I've forgotten his name. Tommy. Well, about Tommy, and perhaps the reason why he was estranged from his family in the first season, which is that he learned that his father wasn't, it's late in the day.
Kevin.
Kevin's not his father. He learns that he doesn't learn until he's 10.
Kevin
he didn't even
know
when he was only like really young, so he doesn't remember when he was adopted. So he doesn't remember his father at all, his actual biological father. And he
wishes they hadn't told him, is what he says.
Yes, he wishes, and that's when she says, "Oh, it's so excellent." She was like, "I wish you hadn't given him to me." And that's when Tommy says, "I didn't give him to you. Yeah. I didn't know who you were. I gave him to my dad." Yeah.
And she is shocked by that.
She's just like, well, not shocked, but just like, See, it's like, just take that from me too. It's like not anything trying to make up for what I've lost. No, it did have anything to do with me. And
it's like complete randomness of it, a la the randomness of people getting departed.
Away, yeah. So she's like, okay, fine. Now I'm gonna put Brett Butler on blast.
Yeah, she goes and gets the biggest possible picture at Kinko's that she can of dead pillar guys.
Yes.
And then puts it right over the front of his shrine to show, look, he didn't depart. He's dead. He's in a morgue. Screw you, basically. And Brett Butler gets very angry at her about it.
She does indeed. That's what Brett Butler can do.
So there's that thing of, so, that whole Marklin Baker versus Nora in their coping mechanisms for dealing with a very similar loss is going to be interesting.
Yes.
How they've had to deal with this reality without just exploding.
Yeah, because that's when she, I think, asked Erica, like, how do you keep from going crazy? And so, yes, that she's able to get closure, and that's how. So she's in a different position, really.
Yeah.
So that's how, she needs closure in some way. So it's possible that she thinks, after she goes home and sees...
Yeah. So she sees Kevin the Younger.
Kevin the Younger. Yes, Kevin the Younger.
Kevin the Younger is doing the asphyxiation thing again, which as we guessed that was a ritual, and it is.
Yes.
Now he claims he always
tears it. Yeah.
Tears it.
Well, he would have to.
Well, would he?
Even if he was dead,
well, it's true. Even if he's not.
Well,
dead.
I guess.
At some
I guess
point,
it was like water and plastic just jumping on his face.
Right. Good point. So yeah. So anyway, so he's like, look, it's just I like to feel. I want to feel this way.
I want to feel. He just says feel
a lot. Just feel generally.
He just says I want to feel. It's like he was going to say something, but he didn't complete it.
Yes, and we see the tattoo on her arm as well as she sits there.
But she says, I understand. You don't have to explain it.
Yeah. And so in some ways that makes them right for each other.
And things that she was doing in the first season give you a reason why she might...
But it's... They
might sympathize.
They are so... Both of them are like... So damaged.
Right. Well,
such damaged people.
You almost think like, wow, you're so understanding, you're so great. Let's have another child.
Yeah, and so he says, I want to have a baby.
With you.
She just starts laughing.
Yeah, she laughs in his
which hurts his feelings,
yes,
but she can't help it. I mean, the idea like, what? What? And given all of this that's gone on with my kids, departing, and another kid, and that was taken away, and look at us here. I walked in on you trying to asphyxiate yourself. I've broken my own arm in a car door.
Well, I don't think it's that so much. I think she's saying, hey, are you happy? And they actually do look happy most of the time. They say they're
happy.
I think the way they're getting along and everything, but there's their personal things that they still haven't completely integrated yet. So they still are keeping some of their personal things. Because we learned last episode that she hadn't talked to him about losing Lily. So she's still not processing that so well. So, they still are hurting. I think they do really love each other, and I think that the show definitely wants us to feel that way.
Yes. Well, and then so she gets the call from the special phone, which is, I guess the whole thing is clandestine because obviously, if you're radiating people,
if you're
killing people, which they've killed dozens of people or set them up, whatever. They've radiated hundreds of people. Right. That they would get arrested and. Whatever. So they're having to be, on the run. Anyway, so she gets the call, meet us in Australia at this particular place, bring $20,000.
Right.
Does she have that? Whatever. Anyway, she's like, yep, I'm going to do it.
Well, she had a lot of money at the beginning of season 2.
Yes. And
that she got from season 1.
I thought she held that with the house. But anyway, okay. So,
yeah, I know. This seems like she didn't have much money. I mean, she should be going there to like, oh, yeah, I've got the money. Let me in.
Yeah. So... her motives are probably still complex. Like, part of her probably is like, maybe I should go and expose this as a fraud. But then I think there's also maybe I'll do this. Maybe this is my way out, my closure.
Although we do know that she doesn't do it. Unless doing it makes you really old.
Well, that's true. Good point. We know that she's old woman later. Kevin...
maybe she's in the afterlife. And you get old, and you deal with birds in the... No.
Or maybe it's her mom. Okay, no. Okay, so Kevin says, can I go with you? And I'm kind of waiting at that moment for her to say no. Because in her mind, she's like, I'm going there to get radiated.
Yes.
You would think maybe you could just stay. But she's like, no, that'd be great. You come with me.
Yeah.
She wants the support. And so they're going to, theoretically, I assume, head to Australia where they will probably meet up with Kevin the Elder.
Yes.
And as you say, her plans to radiate herself will probably be put on hold since we do see older version of her.
Yes, I think.
I think that's perfectly logical. That's the episode.
And then it brings in another question of... The whole, do you know anybody named Kevin, seemed entirely innocent last episode. This episode, right. It is not innocent.
That's true. The nun who asks her, do you know anybody named Kevin? She's like, no. Yeah, good point. Like, ooh, okay. I thought that was a message type thing, but maybe it's. I was thinking like those doves. Maybe she sends them back or whatever. But yeah, anyway.
Who knows? But now you have to wonder. Like, yes, I do. Really, who do you know named Kevin?
Yeah,
there are a few we haven't killed.
There's a couple we haven't killed yet.
One of them has to be him.
So exciting. Season 3, episode 3 next week. Now, next week we're also going to be reviewing American Gods.
Yes.
So we'll figure this out. My guess is that one of them, probably American Gods, will be Mondays, and then we'll release the leftovers on Tuesdays. Leftovers. No, but whichever. We'll figure this out. Anyway, but if you see American Gods before Leftovers, don't panic. We're doing Leftovers as well. So, yeah, we made this tough on ourselves. Anyway, any final thoughts? You good?
No.
All right, awesome.
Wait, I do have a final thought.
Final thought.
So, apparently... I'm curious because I'm curious what the theme song is going to be. So
this was great.
To Perfect Strangers.
It was the theme of Perfect Strangers, and of course, "Don't be ridiculous" is the tagline that Balky would always say in Perfect Strangers.
And thankfully, that won't be the case next week.
It can't. It makes sense for this episode, but it wouldn't make sense generally.
And apparently, that they're just going to each episode have whatever is perfect for that particular episode. So it'll be interesting to see what will encapsulate. I mean, they could have decided to do Wu-Tang Clan, instead, but no, they did Perfect Strangers. Perfect Strangers.
So is and obviously there's something about the strangers and them being strangers to each other as well. Maybe there's metaphor.
That's me doing a Nora.
Let's have a kid, Paul. No, great. You just hurt my feelings. I'm going to go asphyxiate myself. Okay, no. So what will the theme song be next week? We'll take your theories below. All right.
Maybe figure out who is supposed to be. I guess we know, actually. It's going to be the Kevin the Older focus next week. So, what would it be? Old man. Oh, well.
Right. Well, he was in... I've just totally ruined this. Bye, everybody!